Hello, Meoni here, hot off the heels of Live Letter Part 89 that took place today, the 31st of October 2025, featuring information of patch 7.4. This live letter featured no in-game footage, just slides and information, as is the case that you usually find for a Part 1 live letter. The translations used here are courtesy of the unofficial Final Fantasy XIV Discord channel, and a link to that will be provided in the description box below. Before we hit on 7.4 information, Yoshi P and Foxclon make the announcement of patch 7.38. This patch is coming on the 11th of November, which is a Tuesday. This will remove the weekly limit for the Arcadian Cruiserweight Savage tier, as well as making it so that you can exchange Ordell coins and Mochuan coins, or however they're pronounced, from the new Alliance raids for Evercharged Esther. This is obviously for your weapon upgrades. A new furnishing item will be added to the game to treasure coffers in the Return to Ivalice raids. This is the item in question, the Ivalice Chronicles poster for indoors wall placement in your housing area. This comes off the release of the Ivalice Chronicles, the remake and remaster of the Final Fantasy Tactics video game, which is quite good. I advise you play it. I personally cannot wait to pick this one up, and I'm glad it's available in the game from raids as opposed to Cash Shop. Moving on to 7.4 information then, this is the poster for the Arcadians final raid tier, designed to look like a wrestling event poster, which is pretty awesome. The title of this patch, 7.4, is Into the Mist. This will be the conclusion of the raid storyline. This patch releases on Tuesday, December the 16th, 2025. So patch 7.4, December the 16th. This includes the normal mode of the Arcadian, as well as new Allegan tombstones of mnemonics or mnemonics, depending if you want to pronounce the M or not, and new craftable gear as well. This also means that the Savage patch is delayed until the release of January the 6th. This is because of feedback they got last year with the Christmas time release of Chaotic Alliance raid. So you can get, obviously, the 16th December, go and do the normal mode, and then the 6th of January you'll be able to go in there with obviously more gear than you normally would. Yoshi P says we discussed this a lot and we had the option to release it at the same time as the normal mode, but especially the Western community, they spend their Christmas holidays with family, and we thought that if we made them sacrifice family for raiding, that might become a whole other story. Yeah, completely agree. We don't want more drama. The new MSQ then in 7.4 has a few pictures. Firstly, they showed us Blimp floating presumably in living memory here with Ishtola, Grahatir, Sveen and Kryl looking upwards at it. The second image shown is Kryl contemplating something. And the third image is of a Malala character talking to the party in somewhere rather creepy. This is the new dungeon in 7.4. And finally, a character holding something in the palm of the character whilst sweating profusely. So whatever this is, it is likely integral to the plot of 7.4 and probably the new plotline heading forwards. Also in 7.4 we get more Hildibrand with this black and white screenshot, and another screenshot of Hildy falling or leaping onto something, and but by far the best screenshot from all of this, the Cactuar riding a motorbike, just proving that Hildibrand is worth playing the patch for just simply alone. The new dungeon in 7.4 is called The Mist Wake. We have this gloomy picture of somewhere dark and perhaps in a cavern. Definitely looks subterranean to me. And the second picture looks like some form of like reactor or door or vault to something. And the third screenshot shows a city that we saw earlier, looking almost like we're inside a dome. It kind of reminds me of Coils of Bahamut with Dalamud. Perhaps this is the inside of an underground vault, kind of Fallout style. Perhaps a hidden sort of underground city. It looks very interesting. There does appear to be watchtowers in the streets as well, so who knows what's this going to be like, honestly. Probably a very weird dystopian future thing. And then we've got this screenshot of what looks like Doom Train. This is a new trial called Hell on Rails. This comes in both normal and extreme flavors. So evil Thomas the Tank Engine here. The second shot is even cooler. Look at that electrope monstrosity. This could be absolutely amazing. Super excited for this. Similar maybe to Phantom Train, maybe as a fight. Perhaps you're on a train being chased by another train. That was always a fun fight back in, Sigmascape. I would like to see that again with this thing. That'd that'd be great. Next up, we see a big arena for one of the new heavyweight tier fights of the Arcadian, looking like a big gladiatorial arena with braziers and Colosseum walls, with massive weapons on podiums around this arena. Yoshi P says, and the arena tiles. There is no way that some disappear and the ground changes, right? There we go. In part 2, so the next letter from a producer live, I will show you a bit more, end quote. So there we go. Then we have a picture of this character, presumably one of the new fighters in the heavyweight tier, and her bright red hair that I hope we can get for our characters someday. And then this large Ellison man looking down at the camera, giving off his champion-like vibes. 7.4 features the new Unreal, Tsukiyomi's Pain Unreal, revisiting this iconic Stormblood fight with the usual Unreal treatment, scaling up to level 100, likely with new rewards from the Faux Hollows minigame, if I could speak. Also in 7.4, duty support gets added to the continuation of that feature for other dungeons outside of the MSQ. Firstly, we have Desmal Darkhold and Aurum Vale. These will be available with the usual support NPCs to do these duties solo if you desire. This means there will likely be significant changes to both of these duties to suit the NPC's programming, so we might have to do a before and after video in the future. Yoshi P says, we're adding more features to duty support. When the Warrior of Light themselves dies, it is counted as a wipe, but in 8-man content you have stacks that are used when you die instead of wiping. But from now on, when you die in a dungeon boss, we'll give you a stack that you can use on your next attempt. If you die again, you get 2 stacks, and so on. When you pass the boss, those stacks will reset. He says, you can think of this like of a sort of echo. This applies to all duty support dungeons, future and past. There we go. Interesting little addition. PvP update then. Series 10 will begin with 7.4's launch. This comes with obviously lots of new rewards for the series. There's also a new season of ranked as well. There's also new PvP action adjustments they'll look at in the future. And there's also a new frontline map and campaign with new rules. This is set in Urquhart, as you can see, called Warcore Shirte. I think that's how you pronounce that, probably not. There will be more information on the second live letter before 7.4. Yoshi P does say, however, weather conditions do influence this game mode this time, end quote. So I can't wait to see how that works out. Gold Saucer updates then. They mentioned the Air Force One minigame gets the Ciel Delays, I think Ciel Days. I don't know how to pronounce that. A new map for the shooting minigame. This frankly looks awesome, flying around over ships and shooting things and battling against the Kraken, sort of near Hullbreaker Isle. Can't wait to play that one. And I'll be interested to see what other things they add to the Gold Saucer. Moving on to Phantom Weapon updates in 7.4 then. These are going up to item level 775. These items that are required for the weapon enhancement can be obtained from various duties, including the Occult Crescent itself. Yoshi P says, when we consider the weapon series after this one, we might completely change it. This might be the last time for this kind of upgrade system, end quote. So we'll have to see what that means. As for the Occult Crescent update itself, 3 new Phantom jobs are being added, and if you guessed Mystic Knight, Dancer and Gladiator, you can give yourself a smug face, as those are the brand new 3 Phantom jobs that are coming with the 7-point series update for the Crescent Isle. Secondly, the beneficial accessories are being added for Occult Crescent. There are 4 pieces for Disciple of War and Magic each. The character attributes are increased whilst exploring the Occult Crescent, and these are obtained rarely from critical encounters, treasure chests, magic pots, and happy bunnies. This is a way of basically bolstering your stats if you are going to do the Forked Tower. Very interesting. Yoshi P says, we're working on a major update of Occult Crescent for 7.5, obviously with the new Isle, and we're developing a new tower with multiple difficulties as per everyone's feedback, end quote. Very cool. Cosmic Exploration in 7.4 gets an update with a new starter visit known as Oisies, I don't know how that's pronounced, which appears to be a twin-ringed planet with the kind of unusual properties like floating rocks and unusual floating flora as well, these plants floating around. Yoshi P says there used to be something on this planet, a civilization that found its end, and obviously it messed with gravity. Ooh, interesting. As for additions and adjustments to the planet, there will be new enhancements to the cosmic tools. These are 765 item level and look like this. Grid-based sort of graphics with bright purple glows. Very much a fan of those. They look great. There are obviously lots of new rewards with Cosmo credits and Cosmic Fortune prizes. New tokens obtained from EX Plus missions will be added with new items to exchange for, similar that we had with the Cosmo board. There will also be a sequential mission completion bonus added, as well as Ruin Exploration, a new feature that lets you uncover ancient records pertaining to the planet's past and have them appraised to obtain a range of items. One of said items is this new face tome lift kind of mount, and also this sort of space suit that kind of looks like it would be better suited to a water suit, really. There's far too much flesh exposed there. I love the fact that they're actually finally adding history to the places that we go on this thing, with some lore and then rewards for it, so that's pretty cool. That's it before they take a break, but when they come back, we kick off with variant dungeon information. The variant screenshot was shown here. This apparently is not artwork. It's an actual in-game screenshot, which is hard to believe with this sort of painterly effect. The new variant dungeon is called The Merchant's Tale. Yoshi P says it might look like concept artwork, but this is a screenshot. The second shot shows the Warrior of Light walking through this painting-like street area. Very interesting. Then we have this picture. The monsters have this effect on them as well to make them look like paintings coming to life. Additionally, we have this shot outside of a character with the character involved in the Merchant's Tale looking like a gleaner. This is apparently one of Ishtola's relatives that's incorporated in this story. As you can see, it's like you're literally being pulled into a merchant's storybook. Think Ariamis from Dark Souls or any other fantasy of being pulled into a world of art. So then, variant dungeons as a general recap with some changes. You explore a dungeon with an NPC and reveal hidden stories within. We've had 3 stories so far. This is the 4th. There are variant routes uncovered as you explore the dungeon with the NPC involved. These result in different outcomes, different bosses, and different mechanics on those bosses based on those choices, which doors you go through, which choices you make along the way, usually with a reward then, such as a mount for exploring all 12 of those routes actually kept record of in the journal. This is something that can be attempted solo or with a party of up to 4 people. The difficulty changes depending on the amount of players, with the usual duty actions available to help recovery and revival. There are lots of rewards from the treasure coffers, usually including, as we said, mounts, minions, glamour, player frames, that kind of thing. The difficulty choices previously were variant mode, criterion, and criterion savage, which were unlocked by completing the previous difficulty. However, this structure from 7.4 onwards will completely change based on the feedback they've received so far for the mode. So variant modes are the same as they have always been, but now we have Variant Dungeon Advanced Mode, which is a new one that features no exploration. This mode consists of the 3 boss battles from the Variant Mode dungeon, and you can attempt these in any order you wish. Yoshi P says, these boss battles are slightly higher tuned than the normal variant mode bosses. You can decide which boss you start with, let's say boss 3, and after defeating it you get personal rewards. You can stop there, and you can practice each boss. He says, each of these bosses has its own associated rewards, and defeating all 3 in a single run results in a bonus reward, a hidden room with extra rewards. Then, of course, this advanced mode can be attempted with 2 to 4 players, with the difficulty scaling automatically. This also includes the duty-specific actions available, as well as the reses. Yoshi P says, you need 2 to 4 people for this. We thought that solo wouldn't be suitable this time around. We made a lot of content, and of course Savage is high-end, but we've always had the request to allow to practice individual phases. We thought for this advanced variant dungeon, since we already have the 3 bosses anyway, we might as well add this feature. Very cool. Additionally then, Criterion dungeons are also seeing a facelift. With no exploration, this high-end difficulty duty features even more challenging versions of the 3 boss battles from the normal variant mode dungeon. With increased strength and more punishing mechanics, revival methods are limited once again, and the bosses must be defeated in a certain order if you are to receive your reward. Yoshi P says you go from one boss to the next. It's not like you suddenly get one appear, it's just 3 of them in a row. Here is a breakdown roundtable then of comparisons between the new 3 types of content available: variant, advanced, and criterion, with, as you can see, level 90 plus being available to variant mode, meaning you can get EXP for doing this if you're a level 90 plus character, automatically synchronizing you up to level 100, whereas the advanced and criterion mode obviously require you to be a level 100 player, advanced needing 2 to 4 players of any role, and criterion needing 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 DPS comp to enter. Yoshi says, we applied the feedback we got from past variant dungeons. Just like the Deep Dungeon Pilgrim's Traverse, we're looking forward to your feedback on this system. This image then is one of the bosses inside the variant mode. You might have seen this on social media, so that's what that's from on that carpet. Rewards this time include, but are not limited to, this new Glamour set shown on the male and female characters here, sort of Fathnerian inspired design, with a flying magic carpet mount as well, with many other rewards available that will likely be shown in the next live letter and are not shown here. Moving on then with more 7.4 content, this time system updates. There are new UI themes including clear green and clear white if you want to have those. The strategy board makes its final debut into the game, allowing you to plan out raid mechanics and save them and share them with other players. They will show more of this in the second live letter for 7.4, probably in November. Highly excited to tab less from the game personally when learning fights. Yoshi P says, we have added the official markers to it, but we plan on expanding this in the future to a more free use template. Interesting. So maybe you'll be able to draw on this. They then show another brand new feature called the command panel. This allows you to add anything that can be normally added to a hotbar, and you can put this on a command panel bar instead. This comprises of 4 separate panels with 25 slots total each. The demonstration here shows emotes being used, but you can pretty much put anything here that you could normally put on a hotbar for quick use. This, as they say, is a convenient location for the functions that you only want to display some of the time, like emotes, gear sets, macros, while saving space for your hotbar and ultimately cleaning your heads-up display. Here is an example of before, as you would typically see a player on PC, with job change gear sets on the right and emotes on a bar. But now with the command panel, we can remove that and put it all onto panels instead. They then put emotes on the next tab of the panel. They simply put the command button onto a bar there, so you can click this and it just expands to the panel menu, similar to how you can currently do it with macro chains, but this time it does it all for you, so you don't have to mess around with that. This example also shows how you can put your most used macros, your markers, item shortcuts, etc. in an easy to reach place, again without cramping your UI and ultimately cleaning it up. And that's pretty awesome. Yoshi P then said, why is chat asking me for more pages in the quick panel already, ... Well, to be fair, this is quite a brilliant idea. I'm not surprised. And this will also be shown again in the next live letter in the actual game. This next one is probably the biggest for me personally, you might agree. As part of 7.4, we are getting unrestricted job gear and gear in general. You can use any gear in your Glamour, irrespective of class or job or level restrictions. They say that please note that due to the impact on animations, weapons and tools can only be equipped by the corresponding class. For example, a two-handed sword has to be on another two-handed sword, but armor-wise, now anything goes. Oh my goodness. Yoshi P says, and of course everyone is asking for more space in the Glamour dresser instantly. I mean, yeah, this is going to change things quite a lot, I think. This is probably the best update they've ever done for Glamour, ever, in this game. It took us, 11 odd years, guys, but I think finally we get to wear what the heck we want. I cannot freaking wait for 7.4. This, personally, for me, changes everything with Glamour. It's time to start planning your full Battle Mage glams and plate-wearing healer glams. Man, I'm so happy with this, and I can't wait to dive into this. It does mean that there are items I've deleted that I now have to go and collect again, because now they're relevant, as opposed to being completely useless to the actual jobs I play. So I guess we go back into the game and collect more. Very cool. Super happy. And then onto a sour note, unfortunately, Yoshi P also confirms, sadly, that the housing changes, quote, housing we're in the last steps of, but we need until 7.5, end quote. So you have to wait a fair bit longer for the planned changes to the housing, unfortunately. That included the original talk of changing it so that the interior of a house could be of any size. Also, the housing placement slots increased, that kind of thing. They cite difficulties with the increased placement limit with CPUs and other technical limitations slowing their progress down on the update. They're not giving up on that, but are aiming for 7.5 instead. So I guess it's swings and roundabouts, but at least the Glamour update is amazing in comparison. And that wraps up all of the updates for this live letter. For the announcements, lastly, they talk about a slide talking about the NA FanFest, which you can use the link on screen to apply for a chance to buy tickets for the event next year in April. The ticket applications are available only until November the 2nd for NA FanFest, so get those applications in. If you do want to go to FanFest NA, you will need to register that to be able to get tickets. Additionally, ticket applications are also available for the Eorzean Symphony 2025. Also, there's a link and a QR code on screen. And there is also merchandise pre-orders open for Japan only for the Eorzean Symphony as well, if any of those items on screen take your interest. Personal takes from this, 7.4 was looking to be a little bit of an average patch. However, the Glamour update and other features definitely changed that for me. It could easily be one of the best updates the game has seen in many years. So super excited to know what you think about this. Much love. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.